Start the police commission meeting. Only in attendance is Jerry Kleiner. Eileen, is there anybody online?
Not at this time.
All right, we're going to turn it over to the chief. The mayor is not present. Everybody else is here. We have a quorum.
Good evening, members of the commission. First, I'd like to apologize for the last minute canceling of September's meeting. That was definitely not expected. As you know, we got called out to assist with the bus accident, so we were there for many hours. But communications, the only communication is the email that came out today from my secretary. I will be out of town effective tomorrow through the 19th. I'll be returning on the 20th. So in my absence, Lieutenant Dolan will be acting chief. If you need anything, if anything comes up, he will be the point of contact. Him and Lieutenant Hargett will both be available, but Dolan has been designated acting chief. The last meeting we had was August 7th, so I did forward the commission the minutes from the August 7th meeting. If there is no discussion on them, or if would you like to discuss them?
Motion to accept?
If there's no discussion, errors, or omissions, looking for a motion to accept.
Make a motion to accept.
All in favor?
Aye.
Appreciate it. So I don't have the September stats yet. We're a little bit early this month, again, because of my schedule, so I appreciate the flexibility as well. August stats, during the month of August, the department handled 3,136 calls for service, which was a slight decrease from July. July, we had 3,154 calls for service. Part 1 crimes for the month of August, we handled 60. Out of those 60, 18 fell in the violent category, 42 in the property. Out of those 42 property, 38 were larceny related. Still larceny all year long has been driving our numbers. July, we had 52 Part 1 crimes that we investigated. In August, the department investigated 154 Part 2 crimes in comparison to 166 in July, so a slight decrease there. Month of August, the department made 308 arrests, which was a slight increase from July of 302 arrests. Also in the month of August, department issued 714 traffic tickets, which is a slight decrease from July, which the department issued 801. And in the month of August, the department issued 545 parking tickets, which was a significant increase from July, in which we issued 288. Out of the stats for July or August, out of all of the arrests, 3 incidents resulted in a use of force, which is it's actually a little bit less than 1% of total arrests, so we're still staying in that low category for uses of force pertaining to arrests. Any questions or concerns, or would you like to talk about more detailed statistics?
No. I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
So the increase in parking tickets, was that due to construction?
No, it was actually due to I had some of the staff out. One of my parking enforcement had surgery, so he was out for a little bit, and then just some vacations and realigning some stuff. So once they came back, they go right back to work. We have had some concern with the parking, with the construction. Normally that kind of relieves the parking enforcement a little bit because of the confusion with it. But a lot of that's been the signs have been put back up, the officers are back, so it should be pretty steady now for the most part.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Looking at staffing, actually, one additional thing in new business, I sat with the mayor and representatives of Empress, the ambulance service, last week. For those that don't know, Mobile Life has been purchased by a company called Empress, so they are no longer our primary provider of EMT service here in the city, and Empress is in the business of making money. As are most of the ambulance services. So they've sat down with the mayor and they're looking for a significant amount of money to be our sole provider. I know the mayor's been working with the council in regards to this, and I know there's some other options on the table, but just want to make the commission aware of this, that this is something that we are currently working on to find a solution to and address the concerns and make sure that there's still proper ambulance services provided to the members of the community. And the cost is very significant for 2 ambulances.
Sounds like we need a public safety commissioner.
I don't know. That's up to you. In regards to staffing, the department currently is budgeted for 75. I have 4 vacancies as we sit here today. We have 71 sworn personnel on the books. Out of the 71 that I do have, I have 1 on disability. I have 1 out due to a pregnancy. I have 4 in the police academy, and 1 just completed field training just last week. So this evening, in addition to our normal course of business, I also have a person to present to the commission as a potential police officer candidate. He is a certified police officer that works for the city of Newburgh currently. We did a background on him. He looks like he'd be a good fit to our organization, and we'll be interviewing him later this evening. In August, from July into August, I was still running the crime suppression team. During that time, I had Officer Ortiz and Officer Rupert assigned to that. They did an outstanding job. I just want to recognize their efforts. During their short 6-week period, they made 45 arrests and issued 23 traffic tickets. And their focus was based on like our hot spots, the areas of concern, trying to address some of the activities that were going on in those locations that curb repeat offenders. So I definitely credit them with doing a good job while they're out there working. Since they ended in late August, we've actually transitioned a little bit. I did not put additional resources out into the crime suppression team. We kind of realigned a little bit, and we're going to enhance our neighborhood enhancement unit from 2 to 4 persons. We are going to be presenting to the council probably November-ish. We just got them up and going last week. There's 4 persons in it now. It's Officer Berman, partnered with Officer Langford, and Officer Estremera partnered with Officer Sullivan. They've been split up they both been responsible for 2 respective wards, but there's a lot of overlap as well. We're covering 6 days a week with them and multiple hours a day. We don't have them working the same shift, so we're getting more response. But what we did is we sent all 4 of them, along with Sergeant Regino, to a training that specializes in this concept of really working and addressing the problem. So when I introduced this concept about 4 years ago, it was on the kind of a base level, and we saw some pros and cons. We've learned a lot. We went from 2 to 4 to 8, back to 2, and now we decided that we think 4 is our number that is going to be effective for us. And this time around, we're going to add a couple additional components to it, where we'll be working with the mayor's office, with DPW office, to kind of bring in additional resources, possibly the fire inspector, maybe a representative of the bid district, to kind of really collectively go after the roots of problems from all different angles. We were doing it on some level. We think this is going to be a better opportunity for us now, with some specific training and guidelines and direction on really how to funnel these energies and address these problems. And they'll be putting together presentations. They've both been tasked with an assignment in addition to their normal patrols and handling community affairs and whatnot. And that'll be one of the things that's presented. But I'll definitely let the commission know so that you could see the presentation as well. I could have them come here and show you, the concept behind it and what we're looking to do going forward with that team. We hand-selected these people. Obviously, Officer Berman and Estremera have been part of the original unit for some time now. So we kept them there, and we gave them to both partners so that you had that familiarity and bring in some new energy, some young individuals that are very they're very good communicators. They're great workers, but they have the ability to very clearly communicate, which we think is going to be important in this role. So we definitely look forward to that, and I look forward to them presenting and showing you what their focuses are going to be and how they're going to work from here on out. In regards to the officers in the police academy, Officer Brownstein, Joseph Brownstein, Kristen Lane, they were the first 2 that went in, and then followed up by Officer Hodges and Officer Pearson. All 4 are doing great. They're about 6 weeks off in the academy. That was a staggered academy to allow us to get more people through this year. So far, there's some challenges with that, but it's working, and our people are doing good from what I've been told so far. So no issues or concerns there. Last week, Officer Scott Mullen completed his field training process. He's the gentleman that came to us from New York City. He was the detective from New York City. He had just over 10 years. He jumped in right away. His experience and knowledge is obvious. There's no mistaking. He's very well versed in policing. He just needed to adapt to our ways, our rules and regulations, but he jumped right in, and he got released last Friday. And already this past week, he resolved a situation where we had a person going around stealing packages from porches. He was able to obtain some information, get some video, and made an arrest. So he used all of his knowledge and, he jumped right into it. So definitely a great addition to our organization. We're still working on backgrounds for dispatchers. We were having such a challenge. We interviewed 2 additional people about 2 weeks ago. One, when we started the background, said, nope, I'm not giving you that information. I don't want to do that. So she was removed from the list. Another one, within the first few moments of the background, we realized that the person was not completely honest to us about some information. So we had to disqualify that person as well. I just requested through civil service the next candidates that are eligible, and we'll start the process all over again. But I still have two vacancies there. We did hire one young lady. She's still going through the field training process. I did elect to make a transition. I transitioned Marcus Small, who was one of my full-time dispatchers, to the animal control position. He scored #1 on that list. It's something he wanted to do. I was hoping to backfill the dispatcher positions first, but the route we're going, it seems like we keep getting a dead end with the dispatchers. So
When did he start?
he started this past Monday as animal control.
Should probably do some process something. A lot of people are asking.
Yeah. They'll know within a moment because they call. We've been responding to every animal complaint.
Call the 3151 number.
Yeah. And Marcus, he's eager to do it. He's been a great employee for us, and something he wanted to change in his career. And, this is where he is right now. It was actually a pay cut for him from dispatcher to animal control, but he's willing to do it just for a change in career. He's a very good worker. I'm very, very happy to have him. I have a clerical background being done as well. We think we found a great candidate. She's in the banking industry right now, lives locally here in the community. No issues, just wrapping up the background. We're hoping to have her completed here in the next week or so, and then make plans to have her on board with us. But it seems like out of everybody we've interviewed throughout the year, I feel like it worked out for a reason with this young lady. Our detective and sergeant's results came out about a few weeks ago. I did recently make a promotion to detective to fill one of the voids in the detective ranks right now. I promoted Sarah Coletti to detective. She interviewed before the commission a couple times last year for the position of sergeant. She's been with us for probably 12 years right now, 13 years, thereabouts. She does a lot of extras for us as well. She's our EAP. Definitely worked hard. She scored well on the exam, and definitely something, I think it's the right fit at the right time for her. So right now I have her cross-training with our juvenile aid detective with Kevin Brashew, because Kevin has informed me that he will be retiring in January. His last day with us will be sometime in mid-December, and then he's going to effectively be retired in January. So that's a key component, a key position in our organization, especially with a lot of the bail reform and changes in laws. We deal with a lot of our juvenile members of the community. They seem to be the people committing a lot of crimes. So definitely we're going to get her cross-trained, and we'll see where it goes from there with her. We did host a agility test for our next group of potential police officer candidates on collaboration with civil service on Saturday, September 23rd. We dipped into the 85 grades, the pool of 85s. There's 120 people in that pool. 28 people showed up for the exam and 10 passed. So it went from 120 to 10 in the matter of 40 minutes. It's concerning that we're losing that many candidates that fast, that they're taking exams and just not showing up. And I know personally that a lot of departments throughout the county and in Hudson Valley area and even Rockland, Westchester are hiring. There's a lot of hiring going on right now, and I believe a lot of candidates cross-file, take multiple tests, and they just, they basically have the option right now to go where they want to go.
A lot of people on unemployment also have to take the test too.
Oh, I don't know about that.
They get waived from civil service.
I did not know that. So we'll keep working. We have the backgrounds are due by the end of next week for those 10 candidates. I still have some people that are in our queue, that are in the higher grades we'll be working through as well. But we're trying to get, everything in line, while the weather was still nice to get the agility done, so we could plan for probably the February, March Police Academy to have candidates available for that.
Do we go down to the 80s?
So right now I can't go into the 80s yet. I have to,
You
I
have
have
the
to
10.
go down, yeah. So
Okay.
the rate we're going, I would imagine probably in the spring, if not summer of '24.
We can't call for a new test?
We still have plenty of people.
Okay.
There's still 200 and some candidates.
Wow.
So we still have enough. And it's not even 2 years old yet. It's only just over a year and a half old, or about a year and a half. So we'll keep working on that. Also in the category of staffing, Police Officer Christopher Uven, he's been with us for about 3 years. He is being deployed through his military obligations, and his deployment is about 16 months right now. We sat down today. They've been going back and forth with him. He was supposed to be August and September. Now he's actually leaving the 25th of this month. He's going to be deployed in-state in the southern part of California along the border of Mexico. He told me he doesn't really have much of orders yet. He doesn't know exactly what he's going to be doing, but it's 430-some days that he's designated to be there right now. And he told me some of the other people that he's aware that went on these assignments end up being extended. So
He's in the National Guard?
the National Guard, yeah. And this is the first time he's being deployed. We sat down, and he's very appreciative of everything. He can't wait to get back. He said, he wishes he didn't have to go right now, but it is an obligation that he signed on for.
He's still out, like, he went out?
He leaves. He starts on the 25th. So he's got a couple more days. Then he'll be packing his bags and being deployed. And hope to keep in communication with him. He doesn't know what that's going to be when he's down there, but. It's not unknown for him, so he's a young man, and, it's just the unknown. He signed up for these things, but, it became reality for him. But we wish him the best, and, it's an honorable thing that he's doing, and we can't wait to get him back. Any questions or concerns in regards to staffing? I do have a couple other staffing items, but I'll save them for executive session because they're more personnel matters than they are public knowledge information. Anything else? Since our last meeting, just read off some of the trainings that the department has attended. K-9 Examiner Certification Course, Crime Prevention through Environmental Design course. That is the training that everyone that's in the neighborhood unit has attended. The 5 officers plus the 2 lieutenants, both Lieutenant Hargett and Tholen both attended it as well, so that they could help manage it from their positions as well. So we invested in this because we believe in it, and we're hoping that the community will see the impacts of it. We're very excited for it. Problem-oriented policing, dark web investigations. We conducted in September our quarterly range and biannual reality-based training for the whole department. Narcotics investigations, taser instructor, law enforcement suicide data seminar, redacting records webinar, arrest processing instruction, and defensive tactics. So we try to maintain the training and always keep something going and fresh for everybody. Some of the community events that we participated in over the last couple months, we did the back to school barbecue, which was September 9th at Davidge Park. Again, great collaborative efforts between the police department, the city, some of our local businesses. Great turnout. It was kind of an iffy day. We weren't sure if it was going to be clear or rain, but the weather held out for us, and we had a fairly good turnout for considering what the potential weather was going to be. We hosted an outdoor movie night right here in the park behind us by the skate park. That was September 16th. Great turnout this year. Last year was kind of a small turnout. This year was a great turnout. The officers came out, barbecued, showed the movie The Minions, had some of the officers, the new officers. I got to dress up in costume, which was very nice. This last Wednesday, we participated in National Coffee with a Cop. Our neighborhood officers put it together, chose 4 locations throughout the city, so we hit, all 4 wards for the most part. And slow turnout. We decided we have to change our approach to that. I think we're gonna have to go more into the evening to try to get some additional people to come out for us in those events. We assisted and participated in the YMCA Unity Fair. We assisted with the Senator Skoufis Community Barbecue, and then this past Saturday, we participated and assisted with the fire parade. Again, we made it through with the weather in our favor. Any thoughts, questions, concerns in regards to that? So I did send the commission via the secure portal several internal investigations. I don't know if the commission would like to discuss them, move forward with them, table them. That's up to the commission, because I know there's a lot of reading there.
Can we do it in executive session?
We can. Yep. Good.
Do you have anything else for the public?
Last thing I have on the public agenda would be the same concept. I did forward a tremendous amount of policy updates, I believe it's 42, to the commission for review. These are not new policies, these are just updates. Again, the Lexipol company that we work with now, we hired to help us with this process. They make updates on a regular basis throughout the year based on best practices, changes in laws, fine tuning policies. So the policies that I did send, the font in blue, the blue font is the changes. Some of them is, a couple words, some of them is a couple paragraphs. But that's up to the commission. Again, that's a lot of reading. I just don't know if you've had the opportunity to get through that or not. It's up to you guys.
Yeah, I have no issue. I think we're all good.
Good with what?
Updating it.
Updating them? So do you want to discuss them individually? Is there questions or concerns anybody wants clarification on?
I already cleared up my question.
We're good? So then I would, just for record purposes, I'll read the names of the policies into the record, and then after that, if everybody's in agreement, unless there's any discussion or concerns or thoughts, that we will accept them as written, the changes as written on motion. So in regards to the updates of policy, the updates will be pertaining to policy 103, which is titled Policy Manual, policy 200, which is organizational structure and responsibility, policy 202, comprehensive emergency management plan, policy 203, training, policy 300, use of force, policy 304, conducted energy device, policy 306, firearms, policy 319, hate crimes, policy 322, department use of social media, policy 324, media relations, policy 328, registered offender information, policy 330, death investigations, policy 334, biological samples, policy 337, child independent adult safety, policy 341, community relations, policy 400, patrol, policy 500, traffic, policy 506, traffic procedures, and policy 400 is patrol. This was a little bit confusing. We briefly spoke about it at the beginning of the meeting, or just prior to the meeting. We had the traffic policy, and we had a procedure that was attached to it. Lexipol came out with a new traffic procedures policy, which is 506, and some of our procedure that was attached to 500 is now included in policy 506 and policy 400. So there was a lot of red there. It wasn't that we were doing away with it. It got transferred into those other respective policies. Policy 411, appearance tickets. Policy 417, field training. 420, criminal organizations. 428, medical cannabis. 430, First Amendment assemblies. 501, traffic accidents. 503, impaired driving. 600, investigation and prosecution. 607, warrant service. 608, operations planning and deconfliction. 703, vehicle use. 801, dispatch. 802, crime scene unit. 803, records division. 807, prescription drug drop box. 900, temporary custody of adults. 902, custodial searches. 1000 is recruitment and selection. And there's a procedure attached with some changes. Policy 1001, performance evaluations. Policy 1002, special assignments and promotions. Policy 1010, personnel complaints. We're getting there. 1013, personnel records. Policy 1022, work-related illness and injury reporting. They were the policies that were updated. If we could have a motion to accept them as written.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Rodriguez, second by Commissioner Sullivan. All in favor?
Aye.
Commissioners, thank you. I know that is a lot to go through. Could be overwhelming at times, but definitely appreciate your support there. So on my public agenda, that's all I have for this evening, unless the commission has anything they would like to discuss. We do have one attendee in the audience today. We have Alderman Kleiner. Alderman Kleiner, do you have anything you would like to address? Eileen, anyone online?
Not at, not at this time, sorry.
Being no other topics for the public, I would like to request that we move into executive session for the purposes of discussing personnel matters and conducting both probationary interviews and potential police officer candidate interviews. I could have a motion.
Motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Rodriguez, second by Commissioner Mills. All in favor? We'll move into executive session at 5:04 PM.
Please be advised this ends the public portion of today's meeting. Thank you.